Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister, for your speech for economic affairs. Dear Excellencies, dear guests, it's a pleasure to be here, and I hope in the following 5 to 7 minutes, by taking a bit of a different approach, I will try to also keep you amused after the lunch with some photos. And I will be mostly speaking about the challenges and the ways of cooperation and how we can actually prosper and change and grow our country and particularly our mindset. As it was mentioned a few times today, and as our Deputy Prime Minister for Economic Affairs mentioned, it is becoming more and more certain of us getting the date for starting the EU negotiations very soon. This means that our hard work has been recognized, the hard work of our country that was done in the past few years, but it also means that we will even have to work harder on the reforms. And it means that we really need to understand that, as one very famous Greek philosopher said, Heraclitus, the only constant in life is change. We have to really understand that we have to keep transforming and that reforms will never stop. So as long as we have this mindset that nothing will be ever done and that we will be constantly changing and evolving, I think that we will be on the good track, and this will be our first step. I grew up in the, as you can say, I'm from the millennial generation. We believed in the story of the globalization, of integration, and we believed in the story of EU, in the benefits that the European Union will bring, the 500 million potential market for our businesses, the best practices, the knowledge and everything that we will have to become better, and competition is always, of course, a way to progress and improve. So when speaking about the challenges, which is a new name for problems nowadays, when I often travel, I ask the local citizens, how is life there? Are you satisfied with life in your country? No one has ever said that they are satisfied. We are either all idealizing or everybody really has some challenges or problems. And this is really the case. We need to realize that we are not the only ones, that the Western Balkans is not the only one facing the human capital, the brain drain, the mismatch of the labor and the supply. And we really need to be capable of addressing these challenges, but first of all, recognizing these problems, setting the right priorities, and then finding the right ways to address all these problems. Now, when speaking about constant change and transformation and addressing all these problems, this is the clicker. I would like you to just see this picture and for a moment depict this stone as it really is a stone. It can be either our informal economy, either our inefficient administration, it can be maybe the mismatch of the supply and demand on the labor that we are facing. And if we see for a moment, just as a metaphor, this stone as a stone, how can we overcome this stone? Because clearly standing us on the path to our progress, which in this case is the path to going into the European Union and evolving. So if, by the way, if the stone is not there, probably we are on the wrong path because there will be rocks on the way, and this is just one of them. So we have few options if this is a stone that we need to overcome. One of them might be that we have some friends and we call them and they're strong enough so they help us push the stone. Other way would be if we don't have these strong friends, maybe we have some friends that have gone over this challenge and we will call them and ask them, how did you deal with this problem? This is the comparative analysis that we do with other countries, and we ask other countries, how did you deal with this? And then if we don't have both, maybe we have some friends that work in mining and we will call them and ask them to dig a hole, a tunnel in the stone. If we don't have neither of these three, then we might take climbing lessons and learn how to climb so that we overcome this stone. Why am I saying this? Because this is the same in our lives, in the progress of our countries. Why? Because the metaphor of the strong friends or the friends we have in mining is actually the partnership that we need to build to exchange the experiences so that we overcome these obstacles that we will be facing and these challenges. Getting the climbing lessons is actually us being able to adapt, being able to learn fast, being able to do good comparative analysis with other countries, being able to see which best practices worked, and being able to apply these best practices in our countries. And that's actually the same for every problem that we will be facing. The three key, very important challenges we need is to understand that we have to constantly evolve, to understand that we have to constantly learn and adapt, and to understand the importance of the friendships and partnerships that we build, that we nurture, and that we are even about to build stronger, hopefully very soon by getting into the European, actually starting the process of going there. And I believe for the end, what this picture actually is that we are a very, very small country, and I believe that we can be very flexible, we can easily change, and we can not only follow best practices from other countries, but we can be the star and set an example for a good best practice that other countries might even want to follow. So this is my vision, this is our goal, that we really can be fast in transforming, that we really can do good and do well, and that we will set a good example, hopefully, for other countries as well. Thank you.